We'll keep scrolling that. Joining us now, though, for the hour is former President Donald Trump is with us. Sir, thank you for being with us.
Thank you very
And
much. Thank you.
from the day you came down the escalator, this was a big issue.
Yeah.
You were attacked right out of the box, that day when you came down that escalator on this issue.
Well, I was hearing about it from a lot of people, and it was one of the primary reasons in 2016 that I ran. And I ran on the border, and I ran on other things, but I ran on the border largely. And
look at that. Oh, by the way, gay fellatio incoming. Okay, this is going to be a suck fest. You know it. Sean Hannity has been waiting for this moment. He's like, oh my God, I love you, sir. Give me your thick loads. Same here in the Bay Area. So sick of it. Every time I talk to tourists, they tell me we thought it would be hell here. Yeah, dude. Yes. The greatest fucking lie that the American right and the mainstream media ever told to the rest of the country was acting like these fucking cities in the United Goddamn States of America, these massive urban centers where a shit ton of wealth exists, by the way, are actually crime-ridden shitholes that are on fire all the time in comparison to the fucking rural farmland. It is ridiculous. That's why motherfuckers think Southside Chicago is a war zone when Chicago or New York City don't even crack the fucking top 10 on violent crimes. California gun violence is significantly lower than the national average. Same with New York. I wonder why. Even Chicago, even Illinois. Illinois is obviously stuck in between the ass cheeks of states where you can fucking buy a gun at the age of 5 or whatever. So obviously there's a little bit of a difference there, but it still doesn't matter. Ultimately, these places are not like the crime-ridden shitholes. It's just been presented as that. And it blows my mind that so many people don't even scratch the surface. We have a crisis of media literacy in this country. We have a crisis of intellectual incuriosity in this country. No one wants to literally look at the actual fucking facts of the matter. They just want someone to tell them a lie. Yeah, just tell me a lie that reconfirms my biases. It's like, what is happening? And we're getting dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber as a consequence of that. It's not just TikTok brain. There's like good shit on TikTok and there's bad shit on TikTok. You know what I mean? It's what you consume. What I'm talking about is like the reactionary mentality, because I think lying oftentimes is done by capital owners and the media that represents the interests of capital owners at the behest of capitalism. So I think that kind of massaging of the narrative, massaging of the truth is done to dull the masses, to make them dumber, and to feed them these little narratives that actually present the world in a very different way. You said this a while ago, but people think internet content and memes is a shortcut to intelligence, so people don't feel like they need to dive deeper. Yes. They do. Everyone wants to sound intelligent. They want to sound smart. So they look for people who feed them this narrative. Some people in here do it as well, obviously. That's like part of the reason why you watch me, because you want to like repeat the things that you hear from me, which is why when people say Hasan lies all the time or Hasan gets things wrong, that actually works on a lot of dumb motherfuckers who are like, oh, well, I was trusting him because I was repeating the things that he was saying. And if there isn't enough information out there to show that I've been vindicated a million times over, and you only see like one fucking clip out of context saying that I lie or saying that I'm wrong, then you're going to be like, well, I don't want to watch him anymore. I'm going to go watch this other guy who seems correct all the time. Because everyone just simply cares. The broadest majority do not have fundamentals. They do not have the ideological predisposition. They do not care about the actual policies. They just want to sound smart. That's it.
We fixed the problem, and in 2020, it wasn't even a subject. I'd go out and say, I want to talk about the border. They'd say, sir, you fixed the border. Nobody cares about the border anymore. Now what's happened is since the election, where we got millions more votes than we did the first time, We have a situation where this border makes 2016 look like baby stuff. It's probably the worst border, not probably, it's the worst border ever in the history of the world. There's never been a border where 15, 16, maybe 18 million people have already crossed. And I think nobody.
Yeah, it's wild to be talking about this shit, by the way, when the largest wildfire in Texas history is like happening, like record breaking. You do lie. You lied that time you said you weren't interested in today's ICJ press release of Nicaragua taking Germany to court for genocide. Yes. I also, well, there's at least one air avenue where I will always tell you the truth, and that is at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. Okay? And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free. Oh my God, he looks so fucking dead every time I see him. Christian Amanpour privately confronted CNN leadership about double standards on Israel coverage per leaked recording obtained by The Intercept. Yeah, I knew that this was happening behind the scenes. I'll say this much. I know some people that are producers, and I have heard directly from them about how fucking frustrated they are that, like, the Israeli authorities they have on literally lie all the fucking time. All the time. They're like sitting there. They're like, this guy, I know he's lying. Like, what are we doing? What the fuck's going on here? Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? We know these motherfuckers are coming on to just serve us bullshit. And they keep giving us wrong information. Why the fuck do we have these dudes? Anyway, here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. That I wasn't lying about that. Yeah. This is insane. This is LBJ Nixon W second term shit. Oh my Lord. Anyway, let's finish this off.
Nobody has any idea what the number is. You know, the gotaways, they don't know what the gotaways are. We have millions and millions of people, and they come from jails and prisons. They come from mental institutions, and, you know, a step above that, the insane asylums. And it's just hard to believe. And you have terrorists coming. You know,
this man is bitching about Trump 24/7, 365, and the wall was built before he was in office. Who cares? Move on. There's such bigger fish to fry. Hunter Biden collusion gets rolled over because the FBI is trustworthy. Wait, what? Yes. I think we have hogs in the chat now. Oh my God. The closer the election gets, the more we're going to see right-wing people. Oh my God. Yes. Finally. I love you. Please don't leave. 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 Yeah, I famously am a big fan and a committed defender of the FBI. I don't know if you know this or not about me. One, couple things about me. One, diehard defender of the Democratic Party. Two, definitely always 24/7, round the clock, talk about Donald Trump. And last but not least, love the FBI. Ooh, I'm so excited. Can you get a couple of your fucking friends to also join the show? God. Oh, I'm legitimately excited. I'm legitimately excited to have hogs back in here. Because, like, I hate it when some fucking dipshit who's like, I'm a liberal and I think you are a racist, Muslim, Islamist, fundamentalist terrorist who should go back to his country for not voting for Joe Biden. Like, I hate that. That one lasers my fucking brain. But when I get a hog in the wild and they're like, yeah, Hunter Biden did gay sex with his dad and the FBI is hiding it because they did gay sex too. I'm like, yes, yes, I missed it. I missed that kind of thinking, outside of the box thinking. Fuck. A hog in the wild, baby. Ah.
You know, I've noticed as somebody that watches your show.
You can't say you don't lie. When you get proven wrong, then you stick by your narrative. Al Ahly Jdam. Yes, dude. You definitely have represented yourself as a genuine party who is interested in Israel's genocidal campaign by fucking bringing up an unsubstantiated aspect of Israel's very, very fucking devastating genocidal campaign in Gaza. Don't ban this guy yet. I want to hear what his takeaway is from this. Israel has blown up every fucking hospital, maintained a siege on every fucking hospital in the Gaza Strip since then. Okay, including when they did actually shell the Al Ahli hospital 2 days prior to the Al Ahli blow up. Okay, the Al Ahli explosion. This is what I'm talking about when I say I hate these fucking smarmy, annoying liberals who try to maintain a veneer of intellectual curiosity when it's all fake. It's just nothing. It's just here. It's just here to recycle the same old fucking narratives and derail over and over and over again. Come on. What's your response? I'm pro-Palestinian, agree that Israel is committing war crimes, but lying about crucial things turn genuine arguments on the pro-Palestine side has? Yeah. You're not. You're not pro-Palestine. You're not. Because if you were pro-Palestine, you would probably be spending most of your time in Destiny's community, which you probably do, shitting on him for being a fucking genocidal warmonger. But instead, you watched one fucking drama farmer who also has no interest in understanding the truth at all, and you came in here and repeated a narrative that you don't know anything about. Okay? To this day, the Al Ahli hospital, which is one hospital out of many of the hospitals that Israel has sieged, has been a mechanism for distraction. That's it. And if you were truly pro-Palestinian, you would shut your stupid fucking mouth on being like, oh, remember when you said Al Ahli was a JDAM? Because none of that was proven. We still don't know what happened in that situation. And according to forensic architects, a new research came out that disproved the unspent fuel narrative as well. Not that it fucking matters. It doesn't matter. You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because 30,000 people have been killed by Israel. 30,000 Palestinians have been killed by Israel. The majority of them are women and children, and you are still stuck on one of the 11 hospitals that have been sieged since Israel started its ethnic cleansing campaign. Your priorities are so unimaginably out of whack because everyone here understands that you're not actually interested at all in the truth. You're not actually interested at all in putting an end to this genocide. You are not pro-Palestinian at all. How does this monkey have 20,000 viewers? I thought streaming was too hard on you. I have 20,000 viewers and I will never stop, regardless of how hard streaming might be sometimes. Because of dumbasses like you. Anytime someone calls me a monkey or anytime someone says you Islamist fundamentalist terrorists go back to Turkey, you've put another decade on my streaming career. I will continue out of pure spite. Okay? That and also because like this is an actually pro-Palestinian community, unlike this fucking dumbass. See, notice how different it is when we got like these absolute limp dick losers in here. That's the difference. Limp dick losers who present themselves as liberals are nowhere near as entertaining, creative, or as funny as like a real hog in the wild who comes in here to be like, hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Hunter Biden's doing gay sex. And that's illegal.
A lot. I think you do a fantastic job, but you say 100% certain. I hate to hear it. That we're going to have a big attack at some point. That you're 100.
It's the funniest and dumbest fucking thing to be like, I'm pro-Palestinian, and that's why I'm still talking about an unsubstantiated, unconfirmed lie backed by Israel that like the Al Ahli hospital was actually an unspent rocket that exploded in the fucking courtyard. That we still don't know what fucking happened, by the way, to this day, and we will never know, most likely. And I'm still talking about that, even though 30,000 Palestinians have been fucking ruthlessly slaughtered by Israel. I'm pro-Palestine, by the way. No, you're not. Everybody knows you're not, you fucking idiot. If you're pro-Palestine, you'd be fucking freaking out at Rabbi Shmuley, who like last week was talking about how like Palestinians fucking cut off people's titties and shit and played soccer with them. But you're not, because you're not pro-Palestine at all. You just want to use that as a talking point to make yourself seem like you're actually on the side of everyone here. That does feel good to fucking shit on losers like that. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Remember when Israel dressed up as, remember when the IDF dressed up as fucking doctors to go assassinate a dude in a hospital? Motherfuckers who were like, I'm pro-Palestinian, by the way. Look. Yes, but the issue is that Israelis have an Al-Ahli talking point that they can use to say everything is misinformation. No, you dumb fuck. Israelis have been lying since day one. If you truly believe that you are pro-Palestinian in your fucking heart, you would recognize that Israelis literally lied about the Al-Ahli hospital. They lied. They lied then. Every single fucking point of information that they brought forward was false, was immediately destroyed. And you're still talking about the Al-Ahli hospital. You are not pro-Palestinian. You are pro-Israel, and you're terrified of openly recognizing that because you recognize that this is the one community where there is actually a lot of fucking, there are a lot of actual pro-Palestinian people in here. Don't try to fucking massage it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yes, but the issue is that Israel's have an Al-Ahli talking point that they can use to say everything is misinformation. You have decent takes most of the time, but you very obviously make Western/leftist propaganda most of the time. Cancel Hasan Champagne Socialist Trust Fund, baby. How big was your trust fund? I don't have a trust fund. And he's a European too. So what happened? Because it seems like you just come in here exclusively to repeat whatever the fuck you saw on Twitter. Every single thing that Israel has said since day one, including narratives on October 7, have been falsified. Now, of course, I'm much more understanding of the narratives that were launched on October 7 because it was in the heat of the moment and it wasn't, you know, a lot of investigation is required to fully calculate the death toll and everything like that. So I don't think that that is an issue to the same degree, but they've continuously lied. They've historically lied every single fucking time about all of their military actions. So if you're actually pro-Palestinian, you probably would have recognized that a long ass fucking time ago. There is anyone who says they are pro-Palestinian and is still talking about fucking the Al-Ahli explosion at the Al-Ahli hospital is just either lying to themselves or trying to do a very fucking silly little way, a very silly little propaganda point to try to get your take on what I saw on Twitter. Yeah, you try to get my take on what you saw on Twitter, which is that I have a trust fund. I don't. Anyway, I don't doubt that this person is pro-Palestine. They just think they're smarter than thou. They want to appear as smart because the internet, what it means from smart is to think like a centrist. These people are hella annoying because they put up the false veneer to appear smart. No one thinks that this is smart. If you're still bringing up Al-Ahli right now, which is unconfirmed regardless, okay? If you're still bringing that up, you are not a smart person at all. You are the biggest dumbass because the one fucking group that is like openly fucking lying about everything that they've done every single goddamn day, whether it be destroying cemeteries, whether it be destroying all matter of civil life in Palestine, and then lying alongside the entire fucking way, you're duped. You're an idiot. You got duped by Israel. You got duped by fucking CNN. Even CNN is basically fucking turning on Israel at this point, and you're still duped. I could fucking, jiggle some keys in front of your eyes and I could fucking misdirect you like that. Anyway, I can't believe we're still talking about this dumb shit, dude. Holy fuck. Let's get back to the goddamn border, baby.
I pray that I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're probably right. And that's a very sad thing, but I've heard you say it a few times that I said I'm not going to dispute it. I hope you're wrong, but there's a certainly.
Come on, Israel must have told the truth about something. Yeah, Israel only fucking tells the truth when it's like when it's Hebrew commentary from Benjamin Netanyahu or Itamar Ben-Gvir talking to Israelis about how much death and destruction they are going to fucking pummel Gaza with. But Western focused commentary always is Hasbra. It's always for a Western audience, and they're failing on that front too. Yeah, they told the truth when they admitted that they killed their own hostages who were waving white flags because they weren't sufficiently Israeli looking.
Good chance. They're coming from numbers and countries that we wouldn't believe. So you have 28,000 from China, all fighting age. You don't see women, and you don't see men much older than that. It's from 18 to 25, 26 years old. And there's something going on. And they're coming from Yemen that we're bombing. They're coming from the Congo, from prisons in the Congo. The only good thing is it makes our prisons.
So they're coming from Yemen that we're bombing. This is why I love people that think that Trump is like a based anti-imperialist or whatever, like a war, not a war hawk, but a dove. And it's like, you think he wouldn't fucking bomb Yemen right now? Are you kidding me? He'd be putting his dick in. He would literally be sending troops into fucking Gaza. Okay. Just so people understand, like,
Prisoners look like very nice people.
just like dumbasses everywhere, you know, in every facet of American existence and in every orifice of American politics, there's like a fucking unique dumbass who is united, whether they are liberal, whether they are Democratic Party voters, whether they're conservative, whether they're Republican Party voters, they are all united on the same principle that they fucking get news on TikTok and on Facebook and are misinformed, and they come up with their own conclusions, and they think, well, I'm an American, I'm exceptional. I'm an American, I'm an individual, and because of my hyper-individualism and American exceptionalism, I come up with a take. You have to listen to it. You have to take it seriously, no matter how fucking stupid it is, no matter how misguided it is. And it doesn't even fucking matter because I came up with it, and I'm a goddamn American. You have to listen to me. No, I don't. You're dumb as fuck.
People, I'll tell you, because these are rough people that are coming in. When you see them from Venezuela fighting, having fistfights with the cops, we never saw that. You'd see cops be, a lot of bad things happen to cops, but you never saw people standing in the middle of a street in a fistfight. And if that happened in their country, they'd kill them within seconds. They wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't stand for it. So it's a very terrible thing. Our country is being poisoned. We're really being poisoned.
They're killing cops.
It's hard to believe. You know, as a business guy, you always want to understand the other side. I want to understand, what is the other side thinking, even if you disagree. I don't know what they're thinking, because who can want...
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking either, brother. Preach. What are they thinking? They gave me the greatest gift of all. They looked at my psychotic rhetoric on immigration and said, no, we are going to be the ones who say what Trump is saying about immigration is real.
Want this? Who can want millions of people from lots of bad places pouring into our country? And you're right, we have not seen... This is just the beginning. You know, we're just starting to see, I call it migrant crime. I really call it Biden migrant crime, but it's too long. So let's just call it migrant crime, and everyone's going to know it's because of Biden. But we've never had anything like this. We have an inflow of people at numbers that are unbelievable. And you go back to New York and you see hundreds of thousands of people. And you can see, look, the mayor is trying. He wants to do a job, but it's impossible.
Well, he made the city a sanctuary. They made New York City a sanctuary city. I want to go back to what you referred to, what I've been saying, because I point out, we'll put it up on the screen, the numbers of people coming from Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror,
Yep.
their satellite Syria.
Yep.
You have the home of the Muslim Brotherhood, Egypt. Thousands coming from Egypt that we know of.
Yeah.
Thousands coming from Afghanistan. Now Al-Qaeda has training camps up again. Then, you know, over 10, 12, 14,000 from Russia. And I read recently over 37,000 recently from China. Now, why would they make that long journey to our southern border? And my fear is that we have in this country, because these illegals are not vetted, I fear that terrorist cells have set up in this country that will plot, plan, scheme the next 9/11 or worse. I pray to God, as I said, I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong, Mr. President.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Undocumented immigrants coming over the border are fucking gonna do the next 9/11. Fuck. Holy moly, dude. Listen, 9/11 2 Electric Boogaloo, 100p puts us in full fascism territory. Okay? 2001 was an accelerant. Whether it be the Patriot Act, whether it be the creation of the ICE within the Department of Homeland Security and ICE, remember? Those are not like, this is relatively new in American history. Okay? But goddamn, dude, that 9/11 2 would be like, all right, that's it. Especially under Trump, is so, he's horny thinking about that. He's like, yeah, I can't wait for the CIA to do another 9/11 when I'm president, so that I can be God King. Nobody will ever arrest me for the little minor crimes that I do for fun. Bro, Trump would kick your ass out of from our beloved country. God bless USA. Yeah, no, he can't. Because I'm a motherfucking American citizen, and you can't take that away from me no matter how hard you fucking try, bitch. You can cry all you want. Delicious. What the fuck? Muslim Brotherhood, Egyptians, Lamau? Dude, religious folks don't go to America. Only Egyptian liberals do. Yeah, that's the other part. Like, many of the people that are coming into the United States of America from these countries like Venezuela literally hate Maduro. The people that are coming in from China, I don't think are too fond of China. Why the fuck would they leave China if they were fond of China? You want those guys. If you're right wing, if you're reactionary, if you hate China, you want those guys in America. What the fuck?
Well, China has, as of today, 29,000 young men, for the most part, in our country for the last 3 or 4 months. And there's something going on. Look, there's something going on. Now, hopefully we don't have that problem with China. I always had a good relationship with China until the COVID came in. That was a step too far. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. No president took in 10 cents, not 10 cents. And we still got along with them. But when you look at this, and when you look at other countries, we have a lot coming in from.
Most immigrants hate the illegal immigrants because they think they make them look bad. Not most immigrants. Some do. Partially because they are, if you have legally immigrated into the United States of America, and I'm at the peak of that, right? As someone who was legally born inside of U.S. soil, I know for a fact that most immigrants that are able to come here legally are coming from relatively affluent backgrounds. The undocumented immigrants that are coming here are not. That's it. Remember, this country has a direct policy of giving you a fucking green card automatically back in the day for purchasing $500,000 worth of property, okay? Like, that's it. There are obviously still like green card lottery winners and shit like that, but that process is like, that process is very, very difficult to come in to the United States through as well. And it's gotten increasingly worse over the course of the last couple of decades too. Whether I have 500K property and do not have a green card, that's 100% based on the lottery system for us too. No, this is the old way. I think, what is it, a EB5 visa or something? That number is increased now, by the way. Yeah, it's called EB5 Immigrant, the Immigrant Investor Program. USCIS administers the EB5 program. Under this program, investors and their spouses and unmarried children under 21 are eligible to apply for lawful permanent resident, becoming a green card holder, make the necessary investment in commercial enterprise in the United States, and plan to create or preserve 10 permanent full-time jobs for qualified U.S. workers. This program is known as EB5 for the name and the employment-based fifth preference visa that participants receive. Congress created the EB5 program in 1990 to stimulate the U.S. economy through job creation and capital investment by foreign investors. In 1992, Congress created the Immigrant Investor Program, also known as the Regional Center Program. I think the number is increased now, though. It's not just like Bro, I think the Turkish people miss you a lot. You should visit them and buy a one-way ticket there. This guy's awesome. Keep crying, bitch. I realize that like nothing pisses off dumb reactionary Americans more than a dude who came here when he was 18 fucking years old and literally has citizenship. Okay? And is like owning the capitalist structures that have destroyed them for obvious reasons. But that dude is Turkish, by the way. You want to know how I know that? From this. Only Turkish people write like that. That's how like Turkish motherfuckers laugh. Like that. Anyway.
Iran. We have a lot coming in from, places that we're fighting right now. Here go the bombs. You don't have to have bombs. We had no war. As the first one, 78 years, we had no war other than I defeated ISIS. We knocked out ISIS. We took out the leading terrorists in the world, both of them. Took them out, gone. And now...
Baghdadi, Soleimani,
yep,
leader of Al-Qaeda in Yemen.
Al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the worst in the world. And you look at it and you look at what's going on with our country.
He's like, we took out both sides. We took out al-Baghdadi, and then we took out the number one killer of ISIS in the region. We were like, we're killing everybody.
I'll tell you, you come to Texas, this is now a war zone. And they view it as a war zone. And Mexico's doing nothing to help us. They're letting the caravans come unimpeded. I mean, they come in by the thousands. You have caravans with 25,000 people in them just walking into our country. So something has to be done. The problem you have is Arizona. You have a governor, a very liberal governor, that a lot of people say shouldn't be the governor. And in California, Newsom's doing a terrible job. He's doing, other than talking about how wonderful it is, that's about it. You have an outflow of people, as you know better than anybody. I saw your show with him. I said, this guy's talking about California. Millions of people are coming in through California.
Free health.
Yeah, once again, they're talking about this in Eagle Pass, which created a constitutional crisis because Governor Greg Abbott said, I'm taking immigration on my Texas border into my own hands, and it's no longer the federal government's responsibility, while simultaneously saying California, also a border state, taking immigration to their own hands is actually a no-no and unacceptable, which is hilarious because in one state, immigration is used as a way to claim that there's a massive problem in the country. And in the other state, you rarely ever hear about it. So it's just so you understand, it's not states' rights. There's never been a real thing. That's never been a real concept. States' rights only takes you so far. They only use states' rights as a way to hide the agenda, which is, whether they want to own slaves like in the Civil War or whether they want to, punish immigrants further. Yeah. Notice how nobody from California is like, oh my God, massive wave of undocumented migrants coming over the border. What the fuck are we going to do? California's a ginormous state. They even get mad that Gavin Newsom, for all of his fucking failures, like the Panera scandal that's popping off right now, the bakery carve out for minimum wage, $20 minimum wage that he gave to one of his homies. For all of those obvious glaring problems in the state, they also yell at him for allowing undocumented migrants to basically get like some semblance of social safety nets in the state with our fucking tax dollars. You ask the Californians, they don't give a fuck. They're like, yeah, these guys make the state better. They're just trying to survive. Which is true, by the way. Why is it that California, a blue state, doesn't have the same issues with migration? We're a fucking border state. We got hella migrants coming in from the border. Why don't we have, even the illegals don't want to go to Cali law? Yeah, dude, disastrous, one of the wealthiest fucking states in the goddamn country. You put some fucking respect on this pussy ass libtard bicoastal elite state, okay? We carry the rest of the goddamn red states. Suck my dick. I hate that shit. People are like, "Oh, California sucks." Yeah, dude. Okay, let's see how things pan out. Let's see how hard Texas can carry the rest of the goddamn state, dude. California, in and of itself, is like a global, almost a nation state economy. It's in like the top, I think 10 or top. Texas has the 6th largest economy. I know Texas is the only fucking red state that actually does that also runs a surplus. Not one of it's the wealthiest in the country. No. I'm saying California as a state, in and of itself is a larger economy than entire nations, chat. And so is Texas really as well, but it's what I was trying to say is like it's one of the largest economies if you carve out California as one state versus actual nation states. Yeah, it's like top 15.
Care.
Free healthcare, free education, free everything.
Yeah, and you go to jail, they let you out, they don't turn you over to ICE.
But not for our veterans. For our veterans, they get nothing. And for people that have been there for a long time and deserve something, citizens, they get nothing. But they give free health care. If you come in illegally into our country, you get things. And this is why they're coming. The incentive is so great.
So is New York, but it's all fake. Cali would tank without the rest of the U.S. Every state would tank without the rest of the United States of America. What I'm talking about is a pure theoretical situation. As far as numbers goes, well, California, given its diversity and agricultural output, would probably fare better than most other states. But looking at it on pure numbers, California, as of October 24th, is poised to become the world's 4th biggest economy. Okay? Overtaking Germany. This doesn't mean that it would be fine without being a part of the United States of America, considering that, like, you know, there's a massive water crisis in California, for example. But you have to understand something, like people that fucking shit on California all the goddamn time, can suck my dick, okay? Especially if you're a dumb American being like, "Oh, California sucks. Even immigrants don't want to go there." No, immigrants are perfectly fine in the state of California, much better off than most other places. Now, why? Why does New York have a supposed crisis with undocumented migrants now versus California? Because California is a border state, so we have proper processing. We have proper funding mechanisms and proper processing. The real crisis in New York, which was a border crisis in New York or undocumented migrant crisis in New York, was actually born out of the fact that an overflow of migrants were shipped to New York in what I consider a human trafficking scheme, mind you, from red states. And the federal government didn't step in to offer additional funds to help deal with it. That's the issue. It's so fucking stupid. You think New York would not be able to deal with incoming migrants if they, one, knew exactly how many migrants were coming due to apprehension numbers, and were able to house them adequately? Of course they would. It was an incredibly successful way to make the country, and even make places like New York, come across more reactionary, to not adequately deal with the problem. It is super fucking reactionary in the sense that Here, let me explain it to you. Okay? It is no different than the same exact strategy that I described to you earlier about how right-wingers come in and purposely cripple purposely cripple the tax coffers and do tax cuts and then defund public institutions. Okay? They defund public institutions and then everybody goes, oh, this shit sucks. It's a manufactured crisis caused by reactionary assholes. And then people go, well, what the fuck? We don't have, we already have these issues. Like, nobody's dealing with it. Maybe it is the brown people that are the problem. In a place like New York, one of the most diverse places on the planet, okay? It is a manufactured crisis that the Republicans created because they hate America, okay? They fucking hate America. Bragging about how amazing your economy is when affordability is the worst in the country is certainly a thing. Good job, Gavin. I mean, I know. There's very real issues. Taking a lunch break from delivering mail, we, USPS, and the amount of mail some of these people get to scare the crap out of them to vote GOP's bananas yesterday is nothing but mail about the end days because the Palestine-Israel conflict. Jesus. Conservatives purposely cripple the system, break it to drive home the narrative that like immigrants are actually the ones breaking the system when it's not immigrants at all. Yeah, dude, if you fucking send tens of thousands of people on buses and planes without informing the other fucking state that you're sending them to, that there's going to be a massive overflow of migrants in a short period of time, yeah, they're going to have a fucking hard time dealing with it. It's manufactured crisis created by people, especially in a place like Texas, where they have enough funding and enough processes in place. It's gross, it's disgusting, it's inhumane, and the Democrats bought it hook, line, and sinker and are now leaning into the reactionary immigrant, the reactionary white nativist, anti-immigrant propaganda that they literally ran against last time that this election cycle happened.
Our top geopolitical foe, I would argue, is China. Russia's not far behind. Iran's not far behind. Your friend, little rocket man, you got to keep an eye on him. But China's been allowed. Chinese nationals have been buying up thousands.
Aren't they sanctuary cities, though? Didn't they want the migrants? Here, this is what I mean, bro. Look. Don't hate America more than the leftists, though? Yes, dude, I hate America so much. That's why I even want your dumb bitch ass to have free fucking healthcare and an actual free public education all the way up to college so you can be a little bit smarter and not be this dumbass who says, aren't they sanctuary cities? I just described to you what the problem is. The problem isn't that, like, New York can't handle migrants, okay? The problem is New York can't handle tens of thousands of migrants coming in that are being shipped there without the go-ahead. I got a degree and healthcare. Thank you, though. Yeah, well, it didn't take, okay? What do you mean you have healthcare? I want you to have fucking free healthcare, dumbass. You have healthcare that will still put you in fucking crippling medical debt if you are this stupid as the way that you present yourself in this chat. I suspect that, one accident because you're too dumb to like fucking put your seatbelt on or some shit is going to put you in crippling medical debt. You're going to lose your fucking job and then your health care, and then you're going to be like, oh, I don't know what just happened. The problem isn't that New York is a sanctuary city. That's why I'm comparing the sanctuary state of California to the sanctuary state of New York. Notice how nobody talks about California having a migrant crisis, and the only way that they talk about California is to say it's really fucked up how they're treating their migrants like they're human beings in the state of California, because They're dealing with it adequately. That's the whole point that I was making. New York would be able to deal with the overflow of migrants if they were properly funded for the additional migrants that were coming in and told ahead of time. It is gravely inhumane to just like kidnap a bunch of migrants and ship them off like they're fucking cattle to the state of goddamn New York without adequately informing the people in that state that they are coming. That's the whole problem. Tent cities isn't really adequate. Yeah, dude, I know. Tent cities, a problem, a byproduct of migrants in the state of California, and not a direct consequence of unimaginably unaffordable housing. You are literally proving exactly what I am trying to explain to you. You have been duped into thinking that it's migrants that are the problem when the fucking capital owners are just running your pockets. You gullible fools. Oh. It's not migrants that are living in tent cities, dumbass. It's American citizens that are living in tent cities as a consequence of being priced out of the housing market. And the migrants have nothing to do with the housing market unless you think that the fucking Guatemalan migrants that are coming in over the fucking border are actually planting themselves in the luxury condominiums and there's a massive amount of demand for them somehow.
And thousands of acres of farmland, ranch land, and land near our military installations. Now, you know President Xi, if you called him and said, I know somebody, Sean Hannity, would like to buy land, farmland and ranch land in China, do you think he'd allow me?
No, I don't think so. They don't allow that. And they're very possessive of their country. They're very possessive.
Also, here's another testament to how reactionary commentary spreads like wildfire amongst a nation of dullards that are motivated to believe it. Sanctuary city is not a designation that means that, like, oh, if you're an undocumented migrant, you get more rights than the average citizen. It simply means that the local law enforcement are not going to collaborate with the federal ICE agencies and immigration authorities, and that migrants can take advantage or, you know, utilize the hospitals and the policing in that state or in that city specifically without fear that they will be thrown in fucking jail. You want to know why? For the record, the sanctuary city concept, although humane, was originally advocated for by law enforcement agencies. Just so you understand the history of the sanctuary city. Do you know why it was advocated for by law enforcement agencies? Because they were like, yeah, if there's crime, we want to be able to fucking deal with it in migrant communities. Because they are not going to talk to us at all if there is crime happening in the fucking migrant communities, because they're understandably fearful that the federal law enforcement will come in and fucking deport them. That's the real reason why sanctuary cities originally started and were advocated for at a different time, mind you, of course, by law enforcement agencies as well. I don't think that's a fair argument. The migrants would be taking the lower level housing, leaving the condominiums and more expensive housing for locals, which they can't afford. Wait, what? This is pure fantasy. I don't think that's a fair argument. The migrants would be taking the lower level housing, leaving the condominiums and more expensive housing for locals, which they cannot afford. Brother, where are they building affordable housing? Other than, was it Kevin Durant? Who was the one who's like actually building affordable housing in Yes, dude. Oh my God, brother, you have subscribed to me for 3 months. Please don't this is making me lose faith in in everything I try to do. Like a 3-month subscriber coming in here and being like, can't they deal with it when you try to defund the police, Lamau, blows my mind. You're like a Fox News watcher. How did this happen? It was Russell Westbrook. Oh. How did we get here? The police were not defunded, dumbass. Shut the fuck up. Actually, you were the person that changed my political views. To what? I made you more right-wing? Like, what's going on? This is like crazy. Or were you even more right-wing than this and you are no longer as right-wing, but still relatively reactionary? Oh my God, he's a Florida boy. That's why. As a Hispanic / Latin, I fucking hate Latinx people when people use Latinx. No actual Latin person outside of the US? Yeah. Okay, we agree on that stuff. Who cares? Is Threads more credible with fewer bots then? Like, what happened to this guy? I changed your political views in the what? Fuck, man. I see it even in my own fan base, man. We are slowly but surely fucking becoming more and more reactionary in this country. It's dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. Actually, oh, they're a Miami Latino. I mean, dude, don't fucking immediately make assertions about this one person. This is a salvageable situation. You can pull this person from the depths of reactionary thinking if you are a little bit kinder, even when they're being purposely obtuse. Okay? We as a community have to be nicer to people who are not nice. Like, this is something that you gotta fucking remind yourself of, okay? There are many of you who were just like him not that long ago. You just called him an idiot? Yeah, I know. And now I'm changing course and trying to be nicer. So what do you mean? See, he's looking for anything and everything to get mad about right now. What's wrong with being a Miami Latino? Nothing. What were your positions that I changed your mind on? Ay, ay, ay. Why is it taking so long to answer? He's just probably fucking... Latinos don't like Miami Latinos. Miami Latinos don't like each other either. The joke is Miami is comprised of different people of Latino descent that fucking absolutely despise one another and get very mad. If you're Dominican, you hate the Cubans, you hate the Puerto Ricans. If you're Puerto Rican, you hate the Cubans and you hate the Dominicans. If you're Cuban, you hate everybody. It's just like, literally. I mean, I live there. I'm telling you. It's just... Progressives are bigger villains of the Democrats and Republicans right now, huh? They've never stopped being bigger villains. Progressive politics actually shows the moral bankruptcy of the Democratic Party because they only run on progressive messaging as a means to win votes. So when there are real progressive people going, well, what the fuck? Why aren't you like following through on this shit? Why do we vote for you? They go, oh, dude, you're fucking up the bag right now. Please. You're fucking the bag up. We got a good thing going. We tell you it's harm reduction to vote for us, and then you just vote for us. That's it. And demand nothing in return. Bro, what? You're usually really hard on all those dumb people who come at you? I wish, yeah, dude, there's a fucking degree of shit that I can take. Like, if someone is coming in here and being like, go back to your country, dumb Islamist, Muslim terrorist, yeah, I'm going to pop off on that guy because that's not very salvageable. Yeah, I get it. I should be nice. I should be nicer and lead with love. But, you know, I'm a human at the end of the day. And sometimes I'm at my limit, you know? Yeah, Twitch is back in Turkey and legal, by the way. So congratulations to the Turkish chatters.
Of staying sharp and bright and frankly coming into this country and buying a lot. And you could take it a step further. United States Steel, and I'm not trying to equate Japan with China, but it's all still, it's outside and they're coming in. Japan is buying U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel used to be the greatest company in the world. Now, it's a long time ago. But I don't like that. I don't like seeing that. And part of the reason is because other countries, in particular China, they dump steel into the United States. I had that problem taken care of largely because I put big tariffs on the dump steel, and I saved the steel industry. But now they're letting it go. And, you know, you're not going to...
Türkiye'de sana FETÖ'cü diyorlar, gıcık oluyorum. Ya evet, al FETÖ'cü, al. Ya hem ibneyim hem FETÖ'cüyüm aynı anda. Nasıl oluyor bilmiyorum ama. People in Turkey will be like, I'm both gay and also a defender of the CIA asset Fethullah Gülen, who's a Muslim cleric living in the Poconos. They'll be like, bro, you must be gay. You painted your nails. It's gayer than sucking a penis. And then they also simultaneously will go, oh yeah, dude, you're actually gay and homosexual and also simultaneously a defender of Fethullah Gülen.
Steel. You want to build an army tank, and you're fighting China. You're going to have to get the steel from China, and I think it's a very dangerous position. I don't think our country, just overall, I don't think our country has ever been in a dangerous position like it is right now. When you look at what's happened with all of this stuff that we're talking about tonight, but beyond that, just this total incompetence, and it began to a large extent with the election, but it began with Afghanistan. When we showed that weakness and that stupidity, taking the military out first, leaving $85 billion worth of equipment behind, 13 soldiers killed. Nobody ever talks about the 38 that were obliterated. They lost their arms, their legs, just obliterated. And we left a lot of Americans behind. You used to cover that, actually. You used to give it a countdown. How many days? I think you stopped doing it. It's so long now. But it's horrible. You have Americans over there that I guess you could call them hostages in a sense, but they are over there.
They're trapped behind enemy lines.
It's a horrible thing that happened. So our country, and you have Iran getting close to having a nuclear weapon, possibly 35 days.
The IAEA, I'm not a fan of the UN, but they said that they think they now have weapons grade
they do.
Material to build weapons.
Would have never happened. Iran was broke.
It would have never happened. Bitch, you did that. You literally did that, bro. The fuck do you mean it would have never happened? Whose fault is that? You. It happened because of you, like single-handedly. That's so dumb. It is one of the signature foreign policy accomplishments of the Obama administration that had a sea of L's, okay? It was a massive W. That and normalizing relations with Cuba, okay? I'm objective. I'm honest. I will always tell you, even if I despise someone, and I certainly despise Donald Trump, I will tell you, like, for example, his dealings with DPRK was actually pretty good. Sidestepping whatever our State Department interests were and allowing the South Korean leadership to communicate with the North Korean leadership was good for Trump. It was devastating to throw the Iran denuclearization deal just because Obama was the one who put it forward and just because you had a bunch of reactionary anti-Iran, pro-MEK psychos like John Bolton in your fucking cabinet, and even before John Bolton. Bro, you're too honest. Chill. Ay, ay, ay. But if the plan worked, Obama would be the person who gets the credit. The plan was working. We're gonna talk about John Kirby in a second.
Let China, I told China, you're not going to buy or you're not going to do business in the United States. If you buy, no business in the United States. I told that to many countries. Nobody bought oil from Iran. It's all about the oil. Nobody bought oil from Iran. And they were broke. They were acknowledged to be broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. Now they have $231 billion, $231 billion that they made over the last 3 years. And
Joe is helping to make the Iranian mullahs rich again.
well, they've become very rich.
The 10 billion that he allowed from Iraq?
They laugh at him. They laugh at him. They think he's the worst. Look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. Jimmy Carter is a very happy man now because his presidency is brilliant by comparison to Joe Biden. Yeah. Brilliant.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of your friend Joe, would have been nice if he came, he would sit with us. I'm not sure if he's capable of having a discussion like this. I tend to doubt it. I've covered that fairly extensively. He shows up today, and he didn't really show up at one of the hot spots at the border. No. But I played that tape, you know.
Yeah. See, this is the perfect demonstration that, like, if you go right as the Democrat, you will lose no matter what. He goes to the border. He has a border bill. He's trying to fucking push a right-wing border bill. And they're like, he didn't even go to the right part of the border. You're an idiot. You're a fucking dumbass. This is propaganda that fucking works. Why are you leaning into this? All you're doing is letting them get away with even more reactionary shit. He says Mexicans are rapists. You say, you know what? Mexicans are a problem. We got to fucking do a really right-wing border bill, okay? Then he's going to turn around and be like, Mexicans are super rapists, actually. And then he's going to start saying slurs, and you're going to be like, I don't know. 4 years later, you're the one who's doing the Mexicans are rapists line. Nice.
Everybody has children, and if they get children, they're all going to get in trouble. I don't care about what they did so much, but if they lie to you, they get in a whole lot of trouble. Right. And they've been lying to the American people for 3 years. I played that montage. The border's secure. The border's closed. The border's secure. Border's closed.
Hasan, are you sure Soleimani being the #1 ISIS killer? I don't think he had any problems with ISIS existence. They killed in the name of Sunnah, and he hates them so. But I know for sure that he killed a lot of Syrian freedom fighters. Brother, the correct way to criticize Soleimani is about internal issues within Iran or Kurds in general. But if you're talking about like Salafists being fucking slaughtered and then masquerading that as like Syrian freedom fighters, I don't know what to tell you. Like the Syrian freedom fighters of al-Nusra.
No, it wasn't. You know, our eyes were not lying to us. We've been showing this video of these migrant caravans for 3 years, and now all of a sudden they have changed the narrative. This is Republicans' fault? Your reaction?
It's all disinformation. Russia, Russia, Russia. Everything they do. And I guess you have to say they're masters at it. They'll say something 1,000. The border is.
You have the blue MAGA shit so incredibly logged. You say yesterday that Liv's going to start making sexy Trump-style Photoshops, and I clipped the shit from the front page of Reddit yesterday. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is old school. This is an old-ass photo, but like they're recirculating it. There's like there's sexy Biden photos out there too.
Is great, the border is closed, and they'll say it 1,000 different times, and some people are going to believe it. I think that's probably the hardest thing that they've got to do, because they have destroyed this border, and they're in the process of destroying our country. We're allowing people in our country that we shouldn't have in. We are allowing.
So you don't like Salafist extremists like Hamas? Yes, dude. Hamas being Salafist extremists is a really funny fucking take that immediately tells me what community you're coming from and what your fucking framework is. You're like, oh, they're Muslim, they must be Salafists. Hamas? Are you fucking killing? Are you kidding me? Do you understand what any of the words that you're saying mean, actually? Or are you just like repeating someone else's takes in here? This is some like straight up, I am Muslim, bruh. There is no way you're Muslim if you think Hamas are Salafist extremists. Or you're the dumbest Muslim I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. What do you think Salafist means? I am Pakistani. Hamas are Wahhabist, yes. Oh, brother. Okay. So, I'm betting British. Dude, no. He wouldn't take this position. He would be saying that it's good. He said Hamas are Wahhabists. No, he's not British. I don't think he's British. Because he would be... some of the British Muslims will take a pro-Salafist stance. What you're describing is completely wrong. Okay? Not only is it just objectively patently wrong, like hilariously wrong, but Hamas is anti-ISIS. Hamas started as a Muslim Brotherhood cutout, okay, or Muslim Brotherhood adjacent Islamic charity that turned into the only form of coherent resistance against the Israeli apartheid regime. They are Islamic extremists and anti-Semitic. Stop coping and support Fatah. Notice how he fucking dropped a couple words in here. He first said, dude, this has got to be like an IDF troll op or something. I hate you, Hasan. You're the worst human being ever. True. He first said they were Salafists. Then he said they were Wahhabist extremists, which is hilarious because like Israel has actually aligned with al-Nusra and has offered medical treatment to al-Nusra, which are Salafist. Hamas, on the other hand, has executed ISIS members inside of Gaza. You can say that that is out of self-interest because they want to be the only game in town, and that much is true. Okay, that there's definitely another additional reason for that. But the notion that like these guys are Wahhabis or Salafist extremists is ridiculous. Then he went on to they're actually anti-Semitic. Okay. And then said support Fatah. Except Fatah in and of itself is, not nearly as popular any longer as it once was due to the Palestinian Authority. and due to the way that the Palestinian population sees them as CIA backed, or in even worse instances, directly a cutout of the Israeli administration and a part of the Israeli security apparatus. Just so you understand. You just hit the full Monty on all of the talking points, and every single thing that you mentioned was wrong, objectively.
An extraordinarily tough group of people into our country. When you have prisons and jails and mental institutions being emptied out, not just in South America, all over the world they're being emptied out. You can check your prison population throughout the world, and it's all coming into our country. And how can that be good? And how can it be good politically?
Joe Biden is here today. I want to get your reaction to that. And you just saw the other tape. And the other tape showed that there are so many of Trump's policies that we reversed, I can't even list them. Yeah. It's so long. I gave a short list. And what is your reaction? Why do you think he's here today? I don't think it's an accident. And he had bragged about reversing the policies that you put in place. What's your reaction?
Well, I know why he's here, because he found out that we were coming. We were here. Look, you and I made this agreement 2 weeks ago.
No, actually, a month and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. But we made it a while ago, and the word got out. And a couple of weeks ago, it started getting out. And then they found out for sure. You put up the nice little picture on the right-hand bottom corner of your television set that I was coming. And all of a sudden, they announced that they're coming. But they went to the wrong area. They went to an area that the governor and myself have done a good job on. And there's essentially nobody coming through. So, you know, you're not seeing it. This area is tough.
So if you win in November, the election's on November 5th, about 249 days if I'm right.
Hamas is as evil as Zionist fascists without power. No, they're not. Hamas is a resistance group to the Israeli apartheid regime that is currently doing genocide in Gaza. There is no moral equivalence between the two. They're not. They are the lesser evil. Try to understand, are you with or against Trump? Brother, I'm all of the above. Empty septic. Yeah, notice how he had no fucking talking points, so he just tried to counter again. I hate Israel and Zionist Hamas are Iranian proxy. Hamas would not exist if it wasn't for the Israeli occupation becoming increasingly more and more brutal. You cannot talk about these issues, especially at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, when you're about to get hit with a 3-minute ad break because you have no defenses against that. Hamas is the defensive posturing of the Palestinian people. If it wasn't called Hamas, it would be called something else. And it was throughout time. The only way to stop any kind of resistance towards the apartheid state is to no longer have an apartheid state. Bro, what the fuck are Pakistanis on these days? How about y'all deal with your American puppet state? I mean, don't even get me started on this shit. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way. Call my colleague a debate pervert today after he tried telling me during an Israel-Palestine debate that actually Palestine never used to be a country and the river to the sea chant is anti-Semitic. The topic hops when I challenged him. What are your go-to answers when dealing with these guys? But the guy's also a debate pervert. I mean, you can follow them down, especially when it comes to Israel-Palestine. There's not really any like valid answers. It will always devoid into might is right and Israel's in the right because I say so. That's it. Like, but you can go down the whichever angle they use, whichever direction they try to steer you in, you can still destroy them because there is an objective right and an objective wrong. And there is no world in which they can answer certain questions like, do you deny that Israel is an apartheid state? Number one. Do you deny that Israel is currently conducting an ethnic cleansing campaign? You are all right all the time. No arguments allowed. You guys are totally right. Odds Bryce, I have duked it out in the marketplace of ideas with many people on this issue, including professional propagandists. I am not saying I'm right all the time, no arguments allowed. I'm simply stating that, yes, on this issue, we are absolutely right. It makes you feel bad, so you try to deflect and act like, oh, yeah, you're just saying that you're right even though you're wrong without actually presenting any evidence to why I'm wrong. Provide an argument. Provide an argument instead of fucking complaining. You are allowed to argue in here. I welcome it. That much slaughter never happened if Hamas never attacked Israel. Even my father says that. Well, first of all, your father can also be stupid. Sorry. And secondly, Hamas forced Israel's hand to do ethnic cleansing in Gaza is not the phenomenal argument that you think it is. Okay? Hamas is not the reason why Israel was an apartheid state. Hamas is not the reason why the Nakba happened and continued to happen for 75 years. Hamas is not the reason why until 1967, Palestinians living inside of Israeli borders were second-class citizens in the exact same way that the Palestinians living in occupied West Bank, which is illegal, by the way, in the lack of rights that they have now. In the exact same way, Palestinians living inside of Israeli borders up until 1967 were treated under the military tribunals in the exact same way that Palestinians currently living in the West Bank are. Just so you understand, every single thing that I just mentioned to you predates Hamas. And also, you said support Fatah. How far has Fatah gotten? What has the Palestinian Authority done for the Palestinians? There's a reason why Palestinians are polled all the time, and they consistently say that the Palestinian Authority is the second least popular figure in the region, the second least popular figurehead, second least popular organization, of course, after Israel. There is no Hamas in the West Bank, and yet Israel has been incredibly cruel and unusual in the maintenance of its apartheid regime in the West Bank under its illegal occupation. You cannot defend this position whatsoever. Please, I hope you reconsider your stance. On October 6th, the Middle East Eye came out with an article before October 7 happened. The article correctly said that 2022 or 2023 was the deadliest year for Palestinian children. The deadliest year so far. Why do you think that was going on? Do you think that regular maintenance, that regular order that you don't pay attention to before October 7th was good or normal or just? No, it wasn't. It was a violent apartheid regime. But Gazans were relatively safer from now. I just cry, watch people cheer for their death. You are looking at a situation where the entire world is celebrating, well, not necessarily, by the way, but a lot of people in the Western world are in the most reactionary position possible, celebrating Palestinians being ruthlessly slaughtered, and then looking at not the country that facilitates those bombs, the United States of America, not the country that utilizes those bombs on this civilian population, Israel, but instead shifting the blame over to the one fucking militant resistance group that is actually defending Palestinians. That is true. Gazans were not safe. It's like saying the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto were safe before they did an uprising. They were not.
Right? And on how do you reverse this? Nearly 10 million unvetted illegal immigrants. We don't know where they are. Many are given court dates 7, 8 years down the road. They're never showing up for those court dates. Now, you've talked about deportation. How do we identify?
There was no Hamas or Israel, just another radical Muslimic group would pop up to kill in the name of God. You think Hamas is killing in the name of God? The fuck are you talking about? The original Palestinian Liberation Front was organized with secular entities. You're just wrong. You're completely wrong. Hamas is a relatively new version of the Palestinian resistance because all of those other secular formations were slaughtered ruthlessly. They both lost popular support as a consequence of trying to negotiate peacefully with Israel. And the Palestinian population saw that through that peaceful negotiation process, Israel only maintained a stronger stranglehold on the Palestinian population, increasing settlement expansion rapidly. God has nothing to do with this. And you also said Muslimic. The fuck are you talking about?
Them, identify where they are, find them and deport them. And is that your promise to the American people?
Well, absolutely. And you have no choice because this is not sustainable. The cities are going bad. The cities, the country, the whole place is going bad. You know, every state is really a border state. And I was talking to the governor before, and he has done really a great job, Governor Abbott.
By the way, Ted Cruz wanted to be here, but Chuck Schumer kept him back in D.C.
Oh, is that right? Probably for a good reason, right? Look, we have to deport a lot of people, and they have to start immediately. People don't know that Dwight Eisenhower is a pretty tough president.
I like how people that don't agree with HasanAbi will say shit but have no actual facts/talking points. I'm new here and not really sure if I agree with them, but I think they just hurt their case more when they don't know anything about the topic they brought up. Shaking my head. Thank you, I am thy God, for having an open mind. Doesn't Hamas use civvies as shields, or is that propaganda I swallow? Just trying to educate myself. Yes, it is propaganda. Because the entire point and in the entire premise of a human shield relies on the other side not shooting the shield. Okay? It's just another way for Israel to justify killing, ethnically cleansing Palestinians and saying, well, Hamas put them in the direction of our missiles. It's fucking bullshit. It's the same exact talking point. It's in the same vein as Israel being like, why didn't Hamas take all of the funding and build bomb shelters? Yeah, dude, you think fucking a bomb shelter is going to withstand a Mark 84 rocket? JDAMs? Precision-guided munitions? No, it's a 2,000-ton bomb. There is no bomb shelter that can fucking withstand it. The only thing that can, in many instances, withstand it is the tunnel structure, which they did build.
I never thought of it as that, but 10 years ago, you start reading and you start really seeing. And he was a big deporter, and he would deport tremendous numbers of people, and they'd bring them just to the other side of the border, they'd come back. He'd bring them again, they'd come back. Then he brought them 2,000 miles back, and they didn't come back. We have no choice. And the way you do it is your local police. We have the greatest police. They don't get the respect that they have to get. They are treated so badly. They do something and they end up losing their pension, even if it's a good thing. If they stop crime nowadays, they lose their pension, their family, their house. And we're going to give immunity to police, and we're going to let the police do the job that they have to do. I think it's very important. They understand who these migrants are. They know them by their first name, their last name. They know where they come from. They know everything about. It's going to be the local police are going to turn them over, and we're going to have to move them back to their country.
When the FBI was the world's premier law enforcement agency, and I believe we will achieve that again, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Inshallah, the FBI will be the premier. Once again, may Allah guide them.
Top FBI officials, they have said what we are witnessing is an invasion of military-age men. You ask the question, you try to understand people that think differently than you. For the life of me, I can't come up with any rationale or reason for this.
So there's two things that you think of. Number one, they maybe want the votes. They think that they're going to get these people registered and to vote and
I'll
everything
give you
else.
citizenship. I hope you
Yeah,
remember me at the
look all
polls.
sorts of things.